Hi, everyone, and welcome. Today, I want to talk to you about how we can manifest using our mind, specifically our thinking, and using a way of focused thoughts to our advantage. So, we're already thinking all day, every day, and we all know that our thoughts are turning to things. So, we have a thought with momentum that we've been thinking for a very long time, and that thought has become a belief. And our beliefs, they are manifesting. They're always manifesting. What we believe is what we are living. So we want to begin to tell a new story, a new way of living. So we all have desires because we're human and we're here to experience our desires, and that's a wonderful thing. So we want to allow ourselves to live those desires. When we're holding ourselves back and we have a new desire and we're not letting ourselves to experience it, that feels uncomfortable. So most of the stress that we feel or anxiety, it's because we're not allowing ourselves to live the desired life. We're not allowing ourselves to have whatever it is that we want. And that's why I really love specific thinking. So, or affirmations. Affirmations are just thoughts that we keep thinking. So it's not something we're saying out loud, but it's just something we're thinking inside of our mind over and over again. So we create a new pattern and a new belief or a new assumption. So when we create a new assumption, the reality has to match that assumption and it has to manifest. So we can definitely manifest things very quickly. It doesn't have to take time. Our mind is always thinking. We think so many thoughts throughout the day, like I believe it's 60,000 thoughts. And by choosing the thoughts that we want specifically and repeating them over and over again throughout the day, we create beautiful momentum, and our reality has to begin to make that true. So let's say I pick an affirmation that says, I'm a master manifester. I manifest anything I want instantly, or I manifest anything I want in 3 days, or in 5 days, or in a week, or in a month. It doesn't matter. So whatever belief you're choosing is what your reality will reflect. So why not choose the belief and the thought that you really want to live? So let's say you want your partner to love you, and instead of thinking thoughts like, I'm not sure if he loves me, or she doesn't seem to be so much into me, you want to just live from the reality of already having that, already having the partner that is perfect for you. And you can do that by picking an affirmation such as, they're in love with me, they love everything I'm doing, they love who I am now, they just worship everything that I do. I don't know, they just love me all the time. And so when you practice this thought, even with that emotion, you just think the thought anyways. The old thoughts will start to come up, and your mind will try to tell you, no, this is not what we think. This is what we think. We're used to thinking lack. We're used to thinking we don't have what we want. So I have to remind you. But if you keep persisting and thinking the thought anyways, no, I have this much money, I'm successful, I'm confident, I'm this way, I'm that way, I have this, I have that, we start to get our mind familiar with that thought, which then in return your mind will take it and will start to remind you like, You have to think this thought. We've been thinking this thought. This is the thought you're thinking. And once that has so much momentum, and if you repeat this throughout the day over and over again, I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm wealthy. I have the money. I have lots of money. I have a ton of money. My wallet is full of money. I always get what I want. Just everything goes my way. My life is perfect, for example. Or if you want to just have an umbrella affirmation, overall general thought you can practice: isn't it wonderful? Or my life is wonderful. Just my life is just wonderful. My life is wonderful. My life is wonderful. I always get what I want. And I really love this way of creating and manifesting, because we're just using our thoughts, which are, we're aware of them, and we're choosing what we want instead. So old thoughts are coming up, but we keep repeating, no, like, I have $1 million in my account, or I'm successful this way, or I always get the best of the best, or everybody loves me, or I'm outgoing, or I live in my dream home, or I'm driving my favorite car. So you want to choose thoughts, and you want to keep repeating them over and over and over again until they manifest. Now the mind will start to be like, maybe it's not working, or maybe we need another affirmation, or this would be a better affirmation, or maybe you need to listen to more teachers, maybe you need to do more processes. But I'm telling you that if you just keep persisting through those thoughts, you keep thinking the thought you chose anyways, your reality has to conform to your thinking, because our thoughts are turning to things. Now, in the beginning, when we begin to start thinking this new thought, we are not going to believe it. Obviously, we have not experienced that experience, and we know for a fact we don't believe it, because a belief is just a thought we keep thinking, and this is a new thought that we haven't thought before. So we are not naturally going to believe it. But if we keep persisting, if we keep thinking that thought again and again and again, in a day or 2 or 3 or a month, whatever your beliefs are, then it will have to manifest. So the way it manifests is usually you get new ideas, you get inspired to do something else that you haven't done before, you want to go here, you want to go there. A lot of life force starts to flow through you, because what we're doing when we're choosing thoughts like that is we're matching thoughts that our inner being already has become. So we're just telling the story like our inner being, and then our reality will match that, because our inner being is non-physical energy, which is so powerful, and it's attracting and creating as well. So you're the universe. You're the creator of your reality. There's nobody else creating your reality. It's only you with your inner being, and things are projecting from your mind. So your mind is projecting the reality that you're living. And you can use your mind indefinitely, because you are so intelligent, and you can literally have any experience that you want. And that's why I'm so passionate to share this, because it's really simple. I wish somebody told me that all I had to do was think the thought. The more I think it, the more momentum I gain, and that thought will become a thing in my reality. Now, what do we do about all the emotions that come up? We want to be feeling happy as well. We have learned that if we raise our vibration and all those things, those are wonderful, but those are not needed to manifest. We can manifest with different emotions, and our emotions will always catch up to our thoughts because they're always just a reflection or manifestation of our thoughts. And that's how it's so easy, because you don't have to figure anything out. All you have to figure out is, if I were to have this car, what would I think? How would I explain to someone that I have this car? Well, you just say, I'm driving this car. Or I bought this car. Yeah, I bought this car. I have this car. I have now this car. And it's so fun, because if you keep persisting, at first your mind will say, no, you don't have that car. You have this car that you don't like. But for so long, you have just been creating the thought of the car that you don't like. I don't like this car. I have this car I don't like. I have this car I don't like. Literally, these are things that we think, and they're like first grade thoughts, like first grade sentences, like, I am this way, I have this, I have that. Usually we've been kind of like set up, our programming has been set up through our environment to think lack. And when we think lack, it's an inner conversation. When we don't have enough money, that's an inner conversation manifestation. In our mind, we keep thinking, I can't afford it. I have very little in my bank account, for example, or I've never had enough money, or it's always a struggle for me to have money, or I can't create this. So we want to change those thoughts that come up to, no, I have this much money. I have enough money. I've always been rich. I've always will be rich. And we are just revising and retelling the story, because everybody's living a story they keep telling. If you think about the people in your life, you will know they're living the life that they are telling. So if they're like annoyed and they're manifesting problems, they're creating problems, because the mind is hearing what we're telling it. It's, let's say, I see something that I don't like the way it is, and I want to change it. I see it with my eyes, but in my mind, I'm telling a different story. The story of, I already have this thing. I already am living in like a luxury home. I already have a home with a pool, or whatever we want to experience. So we're telling our mind what to print next, instead of telling our mind, this is how it is. I'm living in an apartment I don't like, let's say. And it's just so easy, because you can change any story. Literally, you can change any relationship, any person. You can select a different version of everybody, of yourself, of your children. Everybody is infinite, and we have so many options to select exactly what we want to live. And it's so simple, really, and I wish more people would just talk about it, because it's what you're selecting is the experience that you're living. It's that simple. So to really saturate your mind with a new thought, you can take some time throughout the day, let's say 2 to 3 times a day for 10 to 15 minutes, where you sit and you just think the thought repeatedly. Like, I have so much money, I'm rich, I can afford everything I want. I just have so much money. I have so much money. I have this much money. I have this much money. Or for an SP or somebody, a partner you want to manifest, they just love me. They love me. They call me all the time. They just love me. They love to call me. They love to text me. They just love being my partner. Or I'm healthy. I'm really healthy. I'm just healthy. I'm always healthy. I'm healthy. I'm healthy. I'm healthy. I'm healthy. I'm healthy. I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm productive. I'm productive. I'm productive. I'm productive. I'm energized. I'm just always energized. And you want to tell that story like you're telling someone, this is who I am. This is what I have. And you keep saturating your mind with that in a focused way, with just shutting your physical world out and thinking the thought repeatedly. You will start to notice that that thought that you chose, it will become a natural thought. It will just start to come up, and then we can repeat that thought as we're going about our day, when we're doing things that we don't need to focus, and we just repeat the thought over and over and over again, like when we're washing the dishes or taking a shower, or anytime like cleaning or walking, going to the gym. Anytime we're doing things that usually we're just randomly thinking, having inner conversations, we can choose and repeat that thought over and over again. Then the mind will take that thought as a belief. It will create more evidence in your reality. When you see evidence, the mind will start to create a belief. Then the belief will have to be constantly manifesting as a new reality, as a new you. And that's how many people, they switch their reality. Just from, at one point they're not healthy, then they just start to think towards health, and boom, they're in a new reality, and they selected a healthy version of themselves. It's just so easy. So pick a thought, practice it 2 to 3 times a day as a focused thinking, like a meditation, but you're thinking the thought only. If you're thinking other things, bring back your focus to that thought. And then when you're going about your day, think the thought anyways. Persist in the thought no matter what your reality is saying, no matter what your mind is coming up with. You keep thinking the thought over and over again until it manifests. And so this really became one of my favorite ways to manifest anything, and I help a lot of people manifest things that they love just by picking a thought and thinking that thought over and over again. It's so simple. Just anybody can do it. And we've been always doing this. If you think about it, we've always been manifesting through our thinking. Our thinking has turned into the life that we have now. We have not done anything special. We only have picked up a thought somewhere, and we thought it over and over, and then it manifested, and we took it as a belief, and now it's like running without even us being aware, because it's just automatic. Like when we brush our teeth, or like when we train our kids to brush their teeth. In the beginning, there's resistance, but in a few times, it just becomes normal. They have to do it because the mind took it as a belief. And to speed up the process even more, I suggest that you add some sort of physical activity after you have practiced the thought for a while, for a little bit. Start acting towards that, because action tells your brain this is evidence, and the brain takes the thought and makes it into a belief much, much faster. Love you guys.